Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my world with Nat, Relocation Concierge here in the Dominican Republic. I hope you're doing well. I'm in a new location today. My friend Mike, fellow Canadian, but from the East Coast. I think you're from my first East Coaster.
Oh, very
Yeah. We're in beautiful Encuentro, and this is where Mike, his wife Becky, and his son Will have decided to make their new home here in the DR. So welcome to the show, to this episode.
Thank you very much.
So you guys settled on Encuentro. What do you love about this area?
Well, we were here in March of 2020, just before kind of the world went crazy, and I surfed, a fair bit that week, and we started sort of talking about whether it could be a possible place for us to do a year abroad. And that week we visited Isla and met with Sean, and we were really impressed with the school. And then we went home and went through the chaos that we all went through.
We met that day. We met then too.
That
was this winter.
That was
February 2021.
No, we were here one time before.
Before that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then we came back again in March of this year.
Yeah.
So Encuentro, I love the vibe here. It's really friendly. We're big fans of the bakery next door, and
they do have some nice treats.
They do. Big fans of surf and roll, and I think I've surfed something like 12 or 13 days in a row now, which is like probably as much surfing as I do in a year.
This is your new life.
Yeah. So it just had the right vibe. Like we see a lot of our neighbors every day, and we really love it.
It's relatively quiet too.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's far enough away from the road, and as the sun is setting in the evenings, everyone's sort of walking their dogs, and people are coming back from surfing, and just a really nice vibe. Like we get our haircuts, the minute walk down the road there. There's some great restaurants. We've really enjoyed brunch at Cabana on Sunday mornings. Really delicious, and Coconuts is great. And so kind of feel like with the exception of driving Will to school and picking him up every day, you could pretty much just set up shop right here.
And I think it's a particular community. Like it really caters to. I think a lot of people who want it. Like if you're into surfing, this is definitely an area that you want to check out, because you're just like a few minutes walk. I mean, it's a good walk.
It's an 8-minute walk from here to Coca Pipe through the cow field, which I just really love walking. We walk past donkeys and roosters and horses, and what else do we see there? So
you're getting like I call it the full Dominican experience.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you were attracted to the DR for a reason. I'm going to assume the weather was one of those reasons, the surfing. What are you loving about being here right now? What are the things that are really capturing your heart?
So my wife Becky and I, we have for many years sort of talked about doing a year abroad, and every March break, she's a teacher, so every March break we would travel to a different part of the world, and we sort of had a loose list of boxes that we were kind of looking to check. And when we were here in March of 2020, we kind of were like, wow, this checks a lot of the boxes. And the weather, as you say, is great. It's a really great school for Will. Surf, the time zone. I mean, for half the year, it's the exact same time zone as Halifax. I'm running a couple of businesses from here, so that was really advantageous just to be, in the same time zone versus if you're living in Bali or something. 10 or 12 hours difference there or whatever. And so, it just checked a lot of the boxes. Affordability is, certainly it's cheaper to live here, and that it's possible to set up shop here. Like some countries make it very, very difficult to do what we're doing, and there's a kind of a welcoming sort of vibe here that allows somebody like you and I to come and stay here. And that was just when we were here again in March of 2020. We sort of were like, this could be the place. And then we came back again in March of 2022, and we pretty much confirmed that decision, and we have been here exactly 9 weeks today. And
it's only been 9 weeks?
9 weeks.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, we've done a lot in 9 weeks.
I was going to say, I feel like it's been a lot longer than 9 weeks.
It's been 9 weeks today, but it feels, I don't know. It feels longer, but at the same time, maybe it feels shorter too. But Certainly no regrets. Like absolutely love it. Feel really healthy, sleeping really well. Yeah, so I just hope we can kind of keep riding the wave.
It really does impact your whole sense of being. I know that I feel more motivated to, get moving, go for those walks on the beach.
Yeah.
Drink that water. When it's -30, drinking water just doesn't seem as relevant or as important.
Absolutely.
As here.
Yeah, listen, I struggle with that a little bit because, we have been here a relatively short amount of time compared to you or many others. And so it took a while to get out of vacation mode where it's like I had this almost anxiety of wanting to surf and go to yoga and go for a hike and go to the gym and go for a swim. And it's like, just in the last few weeks, I'm kind of sort of settling in thinking, when I wake up tomorrow, it's going to be sunny and beautiful and all those things will be waiting for me. Whereas when we were here on vacation for a week or 10 days, it was kind of go, go, go.
You had to pack it in.
Yeah, had to pack it in. And so...
And that here now well, tomorrow I can do it again.
Absolutely. So no, I think it has... I can speak for I think I can speak for Becky in saying that we're both healthier here. The cost of living allows for me to work and Beck to take the year off, and we're saving around the same at the end of each month as we were back home where both of us are working full time. Will's really happy, he's made some great friends, we've made some great friends, so in 9 weeks, we've kind of set this little life up that feels, again, really organic, really healthy. We're, eating lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, and so, I mean, really, I recommend it. You should come. It's great.
So you said something interesting, and do you feel like, because the question of affordability comes up many times when I have conversations with in discovery calls.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've shifted your standard of what was important to you in Canada to be here? Like I know for us, we have I say a budget. We have a guideline for groceries, and there's things like we'll buy more local.
Absolutely.
As opposed to, because the minute that it's an imported item.
Yeah.
The price is so much different. Do you feel like that
has
shifted a bit?
Yeah, it's tricky because the upfront costs are significant. Like, so, we bought a house here, which was more affordable than home, but still expensive. Furniture here is at least as expensive as home because it's imported for the most part. Ironically, we had a Tucson, a Hyundai Tucson, white 2013 Hyundai Tucson that we sold for 9,000 Canadian, and we bought the exact same.
Are you serious?
Color.
That's hilarious.
It just sort of happened that way, and we paid 14,000 US for it. So cars are expensive, furniture are expensive.
Yeah.
But once you get some of those sort of initial costs out of the way, which we're now kind of finally getting into that zone, I think insurance is much, much more affordable.
Yes.
Things like cell phone, internet is much like half or even less.
Oh yeah,
than
well in
half.
Canada it's not comparable. Yeah.
I would say things like, as you say, fresh fruits and vegetables, if they're grown here, are a fraction of the cost at home.
Yeah.
So our grocery bill for a family of 3, like we're probably spending, in a given month, maybe 700, 750 Canadian, something like that. And we eat, we eat well.
Yeah. I think that's what we're at, about the 600 US mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, relatively similar. Eating out is more affordable, but not like super dirt cheap like some other countries.
And it depends where you're going.
To. Yeah, I think if you eat at Dominican restaurants, it can be very affordable. But we have certainly gone to restaurants where you could easily spend $80 to $100 Canadian, for a nice meal. But overall, as I say, because we don't have a mortgage, insurance costs are way less, our car is paid off, we're living about half of the cost of what we were spending in Halifax. Yeah.
It's very cool to hear, because I think people, and it depends on how you want to live too.
Oh, for sure.
I had somebody message me and said, I heard that I can live, here for $45,000 a month, and I can live like a king. I'm like, well, depends what king and where country you're from, because 4 to 5 might not be enough for a king, right?
Yes.
So I think it's all relative in the situation that you're in.
I have some friends, like some of my surfing sort of
Yeah.
friends who are younger and single. They're living off of $1,000 a month, so their rent is 300.
Yeah.
And they're mostly eating, fruit
Yeah.
and vegetables, not really eating out much. So I think if you're, a family, it's a little more expensive, of
Yeah.
course. But like our budget of say 4,000 Canadian a month, like again, we've only been here 9 weeks, but
Yeah.
I think that is more than adequate.
Yeah. So for all the things that you love here,
Mm.
there must be a couple that drive you. Do you have? I call it the really moment. Like I had one this morning. I was driving down the road and somebody did a 360 in the middle of Route 5
Yes.
in front of me, and I was like, really?
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, we were here twice before
Yeah.
sort of moving here, and then thanks to your videos, we kind of watched a lot of them in preparation for our trip, and so we kind of knew some of the things to expect. I would say the advantages way outweigh the disadvantages, but
Yes.
yeah, definitely driving is, it takes some getting used to. You have to be kind of defensive and offensive at the same time.
Yes.
We went for fall break to Las Trenes, so it was
Oh,
around
nice.
a 3-hour drive, and that helped a lot actually, because when going through those
Little
towns and
towns,
stuff,
yeah.
it was just sort of that much further again out of your comfort zone. So when we then came back to the Cabarete area, I was like, oh, it's home, and I knew where everything was, and
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
a sudden, like this week, I do feel a little kind of just more relaxed driving. But yeah, driving for sure, it takes some getting used to, and you have to make sure that you're kind of paying attention.
Yes.
I mean, it took, like, there were some things that were very, very easy, and then some things that were a little hard. Like, it was really hard, as everyone says it would be, to open a bank account, for instance,
Banking it can be tricky, yeah.
The electrical kind of situation, we're still trying to figure that one out. But for the most part, I mean,
Yeah.
people are super kind. I mean, my Spanish isn't great. It's a big goal of mine to improve it. So I'm kind of relying on other people that have been extremely helpful.
Yeah.
So no, I guess that, well, my neighbor Grant said it best. I mean, you trade Canadian problems for Dominican problems. Like,
It's a great way
you
of looking at it.
don't
yeah.
come here, and it's not like the problems just disappear. I mean, you bring things.
Well, I
with
think,
you,
and I think that's part of an important part of the message is that if you're coming down here, either A, to get away from your problems, they will follow you.
Absolutely.
B,
Yeah.
there are still issues down here. There are problems. There are things you're going to encounter. I mean, listen, I had my first moto accident the other day.
No.
Well, he hit me, but it'll always be my fault, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But I'm good. Like it all worked out. But it's still a shocker when it happens, and it's
Yeah.
like the thing you don't want to happen because, well, for obvious. And he was fine.
Yeah, thank goodness.
But it happens. It can happen, and there's, anything from. I mean, we had our bank card eaten on the second week we were here. You can get sick.
Yeah.
You can. There's anything. I always think, like, would this have happened in Canada? Maybe. You
Yeah.
know, you
Yeah.
never know.
I think that people are coming here to leave something. Like, in other words, they're like running away from something, or they're running towards something.
Yeah.
And for us, we have wonderful lives back home, and
Yeah.
amazing neighbors and great friends and family, and we miss that a lot.
Yes.
So we certainly aren't running away from anything. It was sort of Will, our son, just turned 11, and so this is a big family adventure. I think it's great for kids to
100%.
live in a different culture and Will has made friends from around the world. And is learning Spanish, poco poco. So yeah, for us it was very much, we're coming for a year, and hopefully we will come back many times again in the future.
You're doing it.
We're doing
basically.
it, yeah. And
So for the
yeah.
people who are thinking of doing this and they're watching and they're thinking, not sold yet, Mike.
Yep. Yeah.
What are your words of wisdom? Like, what are those pieces that that you think that maybe helped you guys make the final decision?
Well, I mean, there's no perfect plan. I'm glad that we came to visit, to experience it and meet people, and for me personally, it checked a lot of the boxes. I mean, I love surfing. Our whole family loves the water. But if you like, I don't know, cycling or something, if that's a big part of your daily routine, going out on a country road and going for a bike, maybe it isn't.
This is probably, though I have seen cyclists, I'm
amazed.
Yeah. I'm amazed on Route 5 how there's cyclists out there and they're taking their life in their own hands.
Yeah, I guess my point is simply that I think that happiness is in your mind as much as it is external. And so it's about reframing perspectives so that you feel empowered by them. You know what I mean? And so, like, when something happens that's a challenge, it's a learning opportunity rather than, you know, something that you dwell on for days or weeks or whatever. And so, what I would say to a person or a family coming, it's an amazing place. People are friendly, welcoming. I've never been to a friendlier lineup for surfing. I mean, every day it's good morning and smiles. Like, if the surf lineup is a mirror of the culture in Encuentro anyway, I mean, and I've surfed many places around the world, it is a very welcoming surf community for sure. So it just depends on what your priorities and goals are. If you love beautiful weather and amazing,
it is overcast today, but it usually is very sunny.
It feels kind of nice. Actually.
It is actually is relieving us. Yeah.
So come check it out.
Yeah.
We kind of dipped the toe a few times to see, and it's sort of what you make it. I think that the families that tend to stay and have a good experience are flexible and open-minded, and I guess you don't get into that game of comparing things from home all the time. That's a big piece of advice.
You have to let go of that one for sure.
Yeah, it's different, and it's like better or worse. I mean, I don't even know how you quantify that.
I have a friend who taught me it's not good and it's not bad, but it's just different. Right? It's not better here nor there. It's just a different experience.
But there are quantifiable things like cost of living is definitely less.
It can be less, yes.
Depending on your choices, of
yes.
course. But I think that obviously the weather in the winter for us is better.
Oh, just wait. Oh, it's the best. When you're wearing flip-flops 12 months out of the year. Oh.
I think the other thing that is interesting is that when we were making these plans at home and we were kind of telling our friends and family about it, it's a little bit strange. People were like,
well, it's out of the norm. It's out of the norm, right?
But then you come here, and every single family you meet are making the same choices that you've made. And so all of a sudden...
So you're not alone.
Well, and it's also not that strange,
No.
And I think...
They get it.
Yeah, that from the get-go kind of... you have that in common with other people, and so we have made some really, really close and fantastic friends in a fairly short order. And I think a lot of it is through Isla and families that have children there. But right off the bat, people kind of have that in common.
Yeah.
And so I would guess that for the majority of people, as long as they have a little bit of good luck and they don't have that strike of bad luck in the first few weeks or months or whatever, they certainly won't regret coming. I mean, it's an
and there's
adventure.
Nothing permanent, right?
Right?
I mean, I think that's part of what I explain to people who want to do this is you can relocate for 4 months and you can relocate for 12 months.
Yeah.
The amount of time does not matter. It's just the process is somewhat similar. So if you can come out and try it and you're not sure how that can work out, you can book a discovery call with me by clicking the Calendly link in the description, and we can sort of navigate and see where you are in the process. And if you have any more questions for us, for Mike and I, please make sure you put them in the comments. If you have not liked any of the videos, please do so, and please subscribe to the channel so you get notified for the next episode that's coming out. Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalie.
I am very grateful for your time. Becky, we wish you were here.
We can do a follow-up video in a few months to check
exactly.
in on where we are.
So whatever you choose to do, have an incredible day, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.